It's not like they made this one too complicated, huh?
Right.
Um, so welcome back to the Storm postgame report. Unlike last game where I said on the previous one that I would be here, I am actually here at Climate Pledge Arena, as you can see, which in the let me not show that. Uh, here at Climate Pledge Arena for this show. Here with Christian, timing stuff, through the course of 44 games, we're gonna have some times where we're not gonna have everybody. It's just gonna happen. Um, and again, like I was saying to begin the show, Seattle made this kind of easy to talk about. 102 to 82 win over the Aces. Not something I don't think any of us expected, Christian. I mean, just with it was brought up a few times on the post-game presser, but Seattle really hasn't had a ton of success against, the Aces in recent memory. Um, I go back to, especially in this building, I think of the game that eliminated Seattle in Sue Bird's final year, where Chelsea Gray went crazy. And I just over the PA heard Chelsea Gray for three, Chelsea Gray for like, so I've got bad memories against the Aces is the point. But I mean, from the jump, just what I saw was Seattle, and I'm gonna go back to this because he was right, and he's very often right. But Christian talks about games in this league largely being run through the post, through the paint. Seattle dominated the paint from the jump in this game. Like just seeing them get the ball to Ezzy early, it seemed like I think the first points were on a great feed to Alicia Clark inside. It seemed like they were getting some of the players who were looking to get more involved points early, right? And Seattle was able to run with that. I think they won the points in the paint advantage 52 to 38. Yep. They won the rebounding battle 34 to 25 in this one. Um, just some really it was a good game. It was a good game from them. Um, and then the points off turnovers. I mean, as we'll talk about, as we've talked about, as she's talked about, a Coach Quinn led defense, a Coach Quinn led team starts with defense. And I mean, 21 points off of turnovers. I think Christian tweeted this in uh in the beginning, but Ezzy Magbagor had Asia Wilson and M, and then it's what like the little MVP Perga. It was Perga. It was he had it somehow. It was very clever. He's a great follow. Um, yeah, man. I mean, this is a great win. I mean, the building was loud. I think the attendance was a little over 10,000. It was a great one. So I'll stop. I'll shut up. Christian, what did you see from this one? Because I mean, there was a lot to like. It was easily Seattle's best game of 2025, and probably one of their better ones over the last 2 years, honestly.
This is kind of a weird place to start, but at the end of the game, nearly in the fourth quarter, I'm just waiting for Alicia Clark to get one more basket so they have six players in double figures. And I'm just thinking about, okay, so at that point, you have six players that touch the floor out of the eight, figuring the double figures. Well, of course, that didn't happen, but still, 102 to 82, over half the team's points coming from the paint. Again, a fraction of those a fraction of those points coming off of turnovers. Easy offense, just great looks. I mean, Erica Wheeler with 21 points off the bench, leading the team 3 for 5 from three. I mean, that's pretty great. I would think so. We keep saying, where's production going to come from? Where the production going to come from? And there it is. One of the main purposes of it. But leading the way, Nneka Ogwumike, 23 points, passing Candace Parker for ninth all time. I mean, you think about it, all her career, all she known is the great Candace Parker next to her, right? The mentee, and now one of the greatest, arguably one of the most underrated players in WNBA history is now breaking records literally every day. Passing Alicia Melton-Jones a couple days ago for steals, now passing Candace Parker for points. I mean, I think she's one of a handful of players to ever have 3,000 defensive rebounds. I mean, she's literally breaking records every day. Like it's getting ridiculous. Like my man DeMarcus Cousins said, it's getting ridiculous. But overall, just a great team game. And like I understand that um Seattle may not have the best, recent history against the Aces, but then again, these ancient granddaddy's Aces and these ancient granddaddy Storm team right now. So you're seeing that right now. Um Kind of interesting, Lee Rudin at the end didn't get the game until pretty much later on to the second half. I mean, Dom had a great game. I mean, just so many different ways that she was looking great. I mean, from outside on the interior, her defense was impeccable. I mean, there were just so many great plays where she's literally, kind of just using her length. It's literally just putting her arm up, and it's like people are thinking twice, or they're just forcing people in. But one of the main parts that I love about the game, out of pretty much everything, is the way Neck is being used on defense. You know, not sure why this didn't happen more last year, but Nneka is one of the best wing defenders. She's not really a wing in the league. I mean, I know she's 6'2", she kind of has the size, but she's played in the paint her entire life. But now over the latter, part of her career, she's been doing a lot more away from the rim. And now that she is, especially in a system like Seattle, you're really getting the best of it. Now, again, like I said earlier during the game, she's really just funneling driving straight to Ezzy, whether she gets the block or not. I mean, it's like that one play where Gabby kind of locked up Chelsea Gray in the beginning, and Ezzy just kind of just floats a little bit over, and then it's a double team. There's no way for her to go. 3 second call. Yeah, it was a great team win. I mean, there really isn't really that much to talk about. I mean, everybody had a great game. Skylar had 8 assists. I think they only had 2 turnovers, 10 points. Like, a great game all the way around. I mean, one of my favorite parts of the game. I've
Mm,
been watching the Storm for years, even before I was on the beat, especially during the beginning of the Aces days when the rivalry really first started. And it's kind of rare to see the Storm force Becky Hammon to take so many timeouts. Like, there were just so
yeah.
many runs where it's like, okay, Becky go ahead and calls a timeout. It's like, man, when has Becky ever had to use timeouts like that before, right? Like, you don't see that often. Um, I'm not worried about the Aces sitting at 2-2. I know this is, Storm Postgame Report, but you know, am I worried about them? Honestly, no. I mean, it's still the early season. We've seen them start worse, to be honest. But then again, I mean, the
Mm,
Storm 3-1 right there. I mean, top of the league right now. I mean,
wow.
some early predictions looking great, right? We always said that the bench starts producing the way we needed to, especially the kind of playing what the starting lineup is doing right now. It can't be just Skylar and Nneka, and that's guess what? Everybody else. Gabby had that 117-point game. They had 11-point game, 5 points and 5 assists and like 5 or 6 rebounds. Great game. And then after that, it just started building and just snowballing. And everybody else now is kind of doing their part. I mean, this is what they envisioned, right? I mean, ample production from pretty much everybody down the roster. They're not gonna shoot 50% from three all the time. But then again, like we've said, you don't have to be one of the best three-point shooter team in the league when you have one of the best front court rotations in the league. And when you utilize it the way they did, the way Dom was using the second half, I mean, you don't really have to do much. I don't think there's a single starter that played more than 25 minutes in this game. You didn't have to. So now it uses an ability block to going in. Again, like Coach said during the presser, but the Aces are always a measuring stick for teams that want to be where they want to be. Yes, earlier in the season, but at the same time, this is a great win for a team that's looking to be back where they want to go next this season. Contending for a championship, and they have the bones to it. They just have to be consistent with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you talk about, what they envisioned. That was exactly what I was thinking. Seeing, Nneka play the way that she did, Gabby like playing her defensive role, like not the biggest game, but I mean 12, 5, and 2 steals. It's pretty damn solid, also considering the defending that she's doing against this Aces team, right? Ezzy getting into double digits
Yeah,
today, and then Skylar, like I looked at this, I was like, Skylar's kind of had a quiet game. And then I'm like, quiet game is also, flirting with a double double still. Like, so yeah, man. I mean, just that was the big thing that we talked about, right? Is the bench. And we've talked about the last few games. And hey, I don't, this was the Noel Quinn's version of saying, here, damn. And I mean, 30 minutes from Erica, just seeing she wow, tied for the most minutes in this game with Gabby for 30. Um, wow, Jesus. She was great. I mean, seeing what Erica Wheeler, yeah. I mean, again, talking about envisionment, seeing, someone from the bench create a spark, getting some minutes for Dom. Zai Cook, 11 minutes, nice 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, so
that's all you
I think
need, really. And
yes,
spurt, just
yes.
that's all you need. You need some
I'm not
production from
asking
outside of the
for,
wing. You feel me?
yep.
And
Yeah,
Zai
absolutely.
can give you a 10-point run, really, in a heartbeat if you really let her go do her thing. But
Hmm.
at that point in the season, they don't really need it right now, so to speak.
Yep.
It's a little bit different if they're, like you said, they're kind of in deficit in that department. But when you like Erica Wheeler can do producing on a consistent level the way she's been doing recently, I mean, you don't have to go that deep. So I mean, we'll, the bench will come. We'll see that. But then again, every game won't be a blowout like this. Again, it is still early in the season. It's a great win, but also we kind of have to be realistic and realize that it is still May.
And
Got
I
to take that
think
with the rest of the season.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think we talked about this last game was how, you need to see kind of the building blocks form. I think Rowan talked about it, but in a different verbiage. And yeah, I was thinking about this as Coach Kun was talking because I zone out. I have so many things undiagnosed and wrong with me. Um, like this needs to be a building block because yeah, you had the way that Phoenix game looked and I use this term. It was one of my favorite. Is Marshawn Lynch breaking down his Beastquake run, talking about in the beginning. Oh, it might be trouble. That Mercury game, I said, ooh, this might be trouble. And then you grit out an ugly game against Dallas. You play a lot better and you ride that defense against Phoenix to close that game out. Only give up what 9 points in that fourth quarter, I believe, if I remember correctly. And then, again, this is May. This is an Aces team that's trying to figure some things out still, I'm sure. Right. And but like absolutely you build on this. It was really exciting to see Dominique Malonga drive to the basket. I will not lie to you. And then see Gabby try to throw her a lob from what half court. Um, no, man, I think like you said, I mean, unless there's anything that you want to highlight specifically that maybe you saw differently, like we say, Nneka continues to, it seems like every game, PR is going to have to tweet something about Nneka Ogwumike. Um, Skylar, nice to see her maybe have take a little bit of a back seat because she didn't, again, she's been kind of the driving force the first few games. Um, just all around, I'd say this is as all around as you can get. And I guess I will maybe a little bit about Lee. Like I was thinking about it, right? I was like, we get into the third or fourth. I said, this is kind of interesting. But I think, as much praise as I'll give her, because, I still got to work on the Lee Rue fan club name. Um, I think just with the quickness that some of the other four of your front court players have, just matches up so well with what they were doing against Vegas. Like, you didn't really need to use her, and with how they played in the paint, like I think it just that's what I normally don't like this saying about how the game flows, because sure, but I think that's just kind of how it was,
Can
honestly.
I say something real quick? One
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that's been bugging me.
Hmm.
What is, and I'm not gonna be one of those guys because I hate people that kind of like ref watch. But what is up with the calls on BG&E? The whistles have been so late this
Mm.
season. They've just been so late in the process. Like the first foul on Lee, I'm like, okay, yeah, that was a foul. But I mean, they were already almost going down the court. You're calling it. If you're gonna call it, call it. And then the second one, I mean, the call on Alicia Clark. I mean, arms up in the air. I'm not really sure what else you can really do. The defender should be allowed to move with the ball handler as they're charging, acting to go to the rim. I mean, what do you want them to do? Just stand there as mannequins? Like that's not how you play defense. If that's the case, this is the way the league is going to go. That's a problem. And I really wanted to ask Coach, like, with this play with Alicia Clark, is this something that you want to send to the league and ask them, hey, how are we supposed to play defense? I know that's kind of, short, but at the end of the day, how are they supposed to play defense if you can't just do that? It's really that simple.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, just again, being where we are, like I could quite literally see it happening right in front of me, right as the news people are trying to do their hit. Um, but like I legit, especially the Lee one, like I've never seen such a look of bewilderment on her face. Like, well, and then especially too, looking up at the giant, I can do this, the giant twins up here, like that's how I have to look at it. But seeing them and seeing the replay go by, and I'm like, oh, there goes Asia Wilson. Um, yeah, it was curious for sure. So no, I mean, you do wonder about it, and I know there's been some decent talk on at least like at WNBA Twitter about some of the officiating, yeah, and especially talk about BG about her mid-interview talking to the some of the officials leaving the court about what had taken place in that game. So yeah, man. I think we're good to get ready and get out of here. I think I might have lost Christian, unfortunately, but hey, I mean, again, not too much to talk about with this one. Seattle comes in, dominates, gets another big performance from Nneka, gets the big performance from Erica Wheeler off the bench, your second leading scorer in this for Seattle in this one. If I'm correctly. Oh, yep, 21. Um, nearly all 5 starters score in double digits. Alicia Clark had 9. Um, wins the rebound battle, win the points in the paint battle, get the points off turnovers. Like this is all Seattle could have asked for out of a game. So nice building block. Hopefully they're able to take it going forward. Yeah, man. So next game, we go here as Seattle sits at 3rd place in the WNBA currently. 3rd place in the standings behind the undefeated Lynx, who they will play next 4-0, and the undefeated Liberty at 3-0. This next game for Seattle, let me get this up right, is May 27th. So 2 days from now, Tuesday, May 27th in Minnesota, 5 o'clock tip off for you in that one. Those links are a problem. Anything with LaFisha Collier, but seeing you just hate
Listen, man,
Minnesota.
it's lonely at the top for the Lynx and the Liberty. I'll tell you that much. It's funny because nothing is going right today as far as game prep. I mean, like the WNBA site for the box score for the scoring game is not working. Just for the one box score, I mute my mic once and then boom, the link just said, "Nope, you're out of here." But yeah, man, it's a great game. It's a good game.
Oh yeah, no,
Love
I
what
mean
I
I'm
saw.
looking at this not Phoenix. Looking at this Minnesota team, the averaging basically 30, and then your next player's court. Hey, I love Courtney Williams basketball. Don't get me wrong, but wow, they are a problem. All right, man. So yeah, till we see you next time. Uh, take care of yourselves. Be well. Do whatever you can to make today a great day.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch the Seattle Storm away games this year?
Away games. Well, Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports. So I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See you all here.